Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. This is the Piper Academy Network, and I am Army Piper. These are green bubbles. That's what we have on the daily. Right now, though, on the hourly, we are seeing a little bit of red coming in, starting to get some market topping going on here. So keeping a close eye on that. But we're going to talk today about a chart, guys. It's going to be this chart right here. We're going to talk about this one. Why? Because it's telling us something on the 200-week simple moving average. Shout out to Supernatural in our Discord, bringing up this article. I did some research on it. Interesting, but we're going to break it all down of what is not being said in the article. Cherry picking of information for news headlines does not always work with me. I will break it all down for you today, guys. We're going to be looking at that, but first out, shout out to Alexander G, already dropping 5 memberships in the chat. So much love to you, Alexander G. Guys, let's get it. It's Thursday. Let's get this alpha out to you guys. Talk about the job numbers and that chart right there. Let's do all that today and more on the Piper Academy Network. This is the Morning Market Report. Let's get it, guys. Class is in session. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on the show today. Love having everybody here. I love the gang. OC guy is going to be coming up here in a second, but him and I were just talking about that chart, and we had a little history lesson. So great start to a great morning. But what is up, OC? How you doing, man? Yeah, we were breaking down some history, military history knowledge over there. But good morning to you. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I think it was very fun today's pre-show conversation. And man, I just have my favorite things to do here: talk technicals, talk analysis, and drink some coffee. Man, I'm dying to dive within it because I also held a little bit up on some of when I started learning about the same anomaly thing that you were talking about. But you know what? Your story was fantastic, man. It was phenomenal. I loved it.
Well, we'll give it to the people also. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. I see Papa Randy in here, Jesse Gellick, Retro Mike Tech is in here, RMT in the house. We got Alexander G, of course, in here with us. We've got Crypto Trades. He's working hard behind the scenes right now to clean up and simplify our Discord. So shout out to him. Average Crypto Joe. Who else? We got username in here. Donata Cabrero is in the house with us right now. And who else? Am I missing anyone? Robert Mulligan, Harp. Piper Academy is in here. I appreciate somebody dropping that. I think that was Alexandra G. RP in here with us and a whole lot more. If I missed your name, guys, I'm just trying to keep this thing moving. Appreciate everyone that is here. And let's go over and let's start to get this. I want to get the Bitcoin chart first. I want to talk about Bitcoin and then we'll knock out the news. And I'll show you guys what's going on the 4-hour right now. Then I'm going to go into the higher time frames. OC is going to come back and fine tune that local time frame 4-hour outlook. So let's jump over there to the chart and take a look. So this morning, guys, we did get a little rejection here. We had a nice pump. Guys, look, weekly pivots, the prime pivot tables are rocking here on the Market Dynamics Pro. We did come up and we broke just above the dynamic reactor, and this was looking pretty pumpy heading into the weekly pivot here, right? But if you take a look back here, we've broken this a couple of times and it just doesn't hold for us and we pull back down. Now, where am I watching for support right now? I'm going to be watching for Mother's Milk here. That's the MM, the median margin here of the weekly pivots. But we do have some downside indication. I'll leave the rest of that for OC. Let's jump over, take a look at where we are in the daily. Guys, we gave you all these levels at the beginning of the week. When I said, watch these levels, these are going to be your key levels to hold. Look, right there. Lower support band, wick to it perfectly right there. That was our bounce level on the daily. Let's look at the weekly here. This is also daily. Sorry, my bad. I said, watch this fib line here on the Piper Sniper dynamic fibs. Well, yeah, we wicked below it, but pretty much candle closes on the daily, held all of that level. And then over here, nope, not that table here. We were talking about this chart, and I said, we're just continuing to range up through here. So on the weekly here, in between the golden pocket and platinum pocket are the levels to watch. Let's go ahead and kick it over to OC guy, see what he's got there on the local time frame, see if he can break down what the hell is going on with Bitcoin right now on the 4-hour. OC, what you got?
Absolutely. So let's go take a look at what the review is, right? The first thing that we need to look at it is where is it right now, in what line have we been looking for, right? Which is this one. This is the forecast of the dynamic reactor. We no longer need it because we already had dynamic reactor right there, exactly as we were expecting it, right? There's something that we need to also look at, this V shape or sweep of the lows. I still think that this is possible. All right, guys. Remember that we have some setup points. One of those, remember, it was the not that one, the circle right here. Oh, come on, I cannot grab it. I don't know why. Well, you see the circle right there, right? So the circle right there. Why? Because it was basically on a breakout retest on this trend line, and also we were expecting, and we got it. Look at that, almost that double bottom, which, remember, I was expecting having a little bit of a higher low in here. It happened a little bit sooner there, but we got a higher low, finally breaking through. Remember, I told you guys, at the point of breaking through, that will be the point where I will be thinking that we are gonna be just keeping this area here and moving into breakout retest on the dynamic reactor. Another thing important, it is that right here, remember, right there, we were talking about where was it faster, easier for the market creators, or the market providers, or the market I would say manipulation to be prompt to move to, right? And we're looking at liquidations, and liquidations all the way to the downside was faster or easier to get than liquidations all the way to the upside. Something important that I mentioned, and let me disappear this for a second. It was that most likely when it is a manipulation, we're going to be seeing a week of momentum here going to the downside, trying to create a snowball effect, right? So it seems like that snowball effect did not happen. Again, I think that this is still possible, but remember, we need to look at both cases scenario and prepare for our worst case scenario, and try to make it into an opportunity. So that's what we try to do here, looking for the worst case scenario and try to allocate. If we got there, try to allocate a very nice entry. So far at this point, what I'm going to be looking at is going to be breakout retest and continuation. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, especially not now that we're having a rejection and almost a flip of the ribbon. Let's see what happened last time we had a rejection and a flip of the ribbon right below the dynamic reactor. So what we need to see within the last or the next 2 hours is going to be a big body candle breaking through, right? Something, let me show you, something like this, big body candle breaking through, so we can start thinking on a retracement and then a continuation. Other than that, we're still bearish. Look at that, we are still bearish, and we are heading into consolidation, and almost trying to break that consolidation. Which consolidation, you may ask? This one right here that we have seen for a long, long, long time. So other than that, that's what I got on Bitcoin so far. Let me throw it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Yeah, let's go take a look over at the news right now. But shout out to Emma Coiner joining us here. Shout out to Andy Lee. I see you in the chat there. Guys, if you haven't done so yet, smash the like button. We're actually getting ready to show you social risk metrics indicator. And yeah, a lot of people are not tuning in to crypto Twitter or to YouTube right now. I can actually show you the data. But so if you guys haven't done so yet, smash the like, help our algorithm. I appreciate all of you. Let's go jump into the news. Check that out. See what we're seeing over there. Looking at the news right now, guys, we are looking at the crypto risk indicators right now. Price right now is at a 44.7% overall on crypto. On-chain metrics is at 52.9% risk level, so sitting about mid-range. And then socials. Socials is way down. It's like 19.1%. I'll jump over here just to show you guys. This is a pretty cool tool here on Into the Cryptoverse. But if I go in and I type in YouTube, and we look at YouTube subscribers, this gives you an idea of what's going on with sentiment in the crypto space, believe it or not. Because you can see, like back here when price was high, look how high everything was getting. Here's the peak in 2021, big spike, right? We are in this level right now, and you can see if I bring this in and we just look at like from March 2024 to current, Take a look at the drop here since December 2024, just a constant drop. And of course, this is showing like all of the big YouTubers in the crypto space: Alex Becker, Data Dash, Ivan on Tech, Crypto, Da Vinci Jeremy, BitBoy, Ben Cohen, Altcoin Daily, all the big names out there. Of course, Piper Academy is not on here yet, but you can see that the social metrics right now looking really, really bad on crypto. Of course, that's a good thing for price action. That means that we could still have higher to go because we typically top out on the social metrics at the point that we are getting the market highs at the moment. So Walmart dumped us. It sure did. Alex O Crypto. Shout out to Alex O Crypto, guys. Drop those otters in the chat. The otter gang over here with us. Alex O, appreciate you being here, man. Let's go take a look at the other risk metrics here on Into the Cryptoverse. And let's take a look at that. Right now, guys, total market cap at $3.19 trillion, just under 3.2 trillion. The trend line for that, the median for the total market cap is sitting at 3.48 trillions, which means that we're currently 8.24% undervalued. Looking at the dominance right now with stables at 60.15%, without stables 64.71. And then let's go and bring in the fear and greed. Check that one out. Fear and greed index. There we go. And let's pull it in. There we go. 49 right now. We're sitting at 49 on the fear and greed index. We are neutral. Let's go over and check out the crypto bubbles and see what the current price is looking like. Hourly is definitely dumping on us right now. The daily is green though still. Bitcoin up 1.3% on the daily, down 0.6% on the hourly at $97,000. It was getting so close up there to that 98,000 plus range to hold, and then just dropped on us. Alex was in some good trades this morning on his show. Alex O was, and then he said, "Yeah, I'm not trading this dump. Don't trust it." I don't trust it either, man. Ethereum is at $2,728, up 1.5% on the daily, down 1% on the hourly. XRP up 4.1% on the daily at $2.69. Tether's at $1, and that's a good thing, right? BNB 649 down 1.1% on the daily there. Solana's up about 2.5% still with the pullback, leaving it at 172.86. Doge up 0.6%. Cardano up 4.3% on the daily, down about a little bit less than 1% on the hourly here, sitting at 78 cents. So shout out to ADA there, the ADA gang. Chainlink is up 1%, sitting at $17.98, just under $18. Stellar Lumens is up 3.5. Sui is up 3.6. Avalanche is up 4.3. Good job, Avalanche. You're going the right direction. Opposite of what an Avalanche is supposed to do, but what we would expect of the crypto. So Litecoin down 5.3%, losing 3 spots here again, guys, at 128. I'm still bullish on Litecoin. I don't care what anyone says. HBAR up 3.8%, moving up 2 spots to number 16. Shiba Inu, Toncoin, Leo, and Hyperliquid all rounding out the bottom. They've just been shuffling back and forth between that level 16 to level 20 there on the market cap. Let's go over and check out the stock market right now. Dow Jones, let's give it a refresh. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys don't notice, everything's dark. I got dark screens for everyone. Thank you, OC guy, for that hookup. Yeah, we got dark screens for everyone. No more blinded people. Dow Jones is down right now about 0.94%. S&P down about 0.74. There we go. And the NASDAQ down about 0.95. All pretty much to the downside. Even the Russell 2K small caps is down, and the VIX. That's the one I said you guys got to watch. When this thing's green and these are red, it's not a good sign for the markets, and that is what we're seeing today. Let's look at the bond market, see how the 10-year's looking. It's holding at 4.5%. We don't want to see that get to 5. Remember that. And then gold is at $2,948 right now. Looking at the precious metals, silver is up 1.13%. Copper is up, platinum is up, and palladium is up. The precious metal scene absorbing some of this money today in the sell-off of the market. So looking at the economic calendar, we did have a little bit of economic data that came in this morning. That's going to be the initial jobless claims for weekly unemployment filings. Was it 214,000? That got a revision to that level. Was that a revision up or a revision down? I think that was a revision up. Rose by 5,000 from the previous week to 219,000, ahead of the market expectations. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was previously, but I think it was a revision to the upside. So, anyway, 214,000 was last week, 219,000 this week. Expected consensus was that it would be 215,000. forecast was that it'd be 220,000. So we came right in between what was baked into the markets, nothing real big out of that. And the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index was expected to be 18 to 20, came in right in between it. So already in there. It was in the news. It was, if it's in the news, if it was in the consensus, it's already cooked in. So nothing unexpected there today on those, but it is showing a little bit of increase of the unemployment filings. Jumping over to X marks the spot, only got one thing on here today from Coin Bureau. The SEC has officially dropped its case seeking to apply the broker deal rule to DeFi. So decentralized exchanges do not have to track and report every single transaction, which was kind of a complete opposite of what a decentralized exchange was for, right? One more roadblock for DeFi adoption has been swept away. So the SEC dropping that case, shout out to them. Let's talk about this one. Bitcoin price analysis. Is Bitcoin in the calm before the storm? Bitcoin remains in a state of balance between buyers and sellers, leading to uncertainty regarding its future price movement. The market has exhibited minor fluctuations, requiring increased trading activity to determine its next directional move. Looking at the daily chart, we've already done that, but it says that Bitcoin has experienced insufficient trading activity in both spot and perpetual markets, resulting in a period of sideways action. And it's been very, very boring to watch this thing do what it's doing. But looking at the 4-hour chart time frame, strong support region emerged around 92.5, 94.3. Fair value gap, which we already closed out. I'll show you that in a second here. And then additionally, this key level coincides with the prolonged ascending wedges lower boundary in the short-term bullish flag lower trend line. So we're getting this nice little slope down and getting all of our support out of it. That would put that top side around $98,000. And we may have actually, OC, take a look at that wedge that they got going there. And I think we may have actually topped on that one, on this push up that we had since this article. But according to on-chain analysis, when Bitcoin's price action lacks clear directional cues, deeper research into underlying market dynamics is necessary. This chart illustrates Bitcoin's open interest metric, which measures the total number of open perpetual futures contracts on centralized exchanges. And you can see open interest is on its way up. So this is a pretty bullish sign for what we're seeing right now on Bitcoin, is that the open interest is definitely there. OC, do you have that wedge on your chart? Can we take a look? Did we hit that on this pump that we just had? I think we might have without looking at a chart directly. Let's go over to your chart. You're muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry, I was just doing something around here. But I don't know, depending on which top we were talking about. But at this point right here, let me just adjust it slightly. And I just don't see that we have pushed it. Let me see if we can take a look at something else. Like, for example, I don't know, somewhere like Binance. Because we were looking at this trend line for a little bit. And I mean, I just don't see the actual push of it or the actual touch. Well, barely, almost there, not quite there yet. But yeah, I think that we're close enough that we can say that this could be acting as a resistance, especially since we're seeing a reversal and almost a flip of the ribbon.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing right now with the price action, the just sideways consolidation, I think that's just, it's making a lot of people show a disinterest in anything right now. There's nothing to give them hopium. There's nothing to make them want to sell everything off. So we're just getting that sideways grind. But I want to pull up this article. Supernatural dropped this in our Discord to us, and it's a pretty interesting article, but there's some data missing from it. So we're going to talk about that. Let's jump over to this article. Let me pull this over so we got the full screen. There we go. And we'll jump over here and talk about this. So Bitcoin bull market is far from over, according to this article. And they said that this is suggested by the historical Bitcoin trend line tied to the 200-week moving average. We use this a lot on the show. We talk about the simple moving average, the 200-week, 100-week, 50-week, 20-week. This suggests an ongoing range play between 90,000 and 110K will likely resolve bullishly, meaning to break out of that boring trend. Bitcoin's 200-week SMA remains well short of the price high registered during the 2021 bull market. Past data shows that bull markets tend to peak. Keep this in mind. Bull markets tend to peak with the average rising to the record prices established in the prior bull run. So what are they talking about here? Let's jump down and just look at the chart. and we'll talk about this. So you can see here, we got a peak, right? We got the nice little peak right there. And then that runs over. When that price level meets the 200 week, it has aligned with the next price high, right? Do that again. There's your price data. There's your 200 week meetup. There is the peak of 2021. Looking at that, we are far off on the 200 getting to up there to that trend line. But there's some data that if you look really close here, you can see this line actually overshoots the peak, right? And so I went ahead and said, let's put all of this on a chart. Let's put all this on a chart and let's reanalyze the data and see what we're seeing that they're not seeing, okay? So if we go back here and we look at the peak that we had here back in 2011, okay? Oh, I didn't even circle it, 2011 peak, and we take a look at that trend line, yes, that is where it comes into play right there on the 200-week simple moving average, and that aligned with the peak of the cycle. That was the cycle high, right? If we look at the next cycle from that peak moving over to the 200, that aligns pretty darn close, about a week off from the peak, right? Okay, we're still on. This data still checks out all the way through. Let's look at the next one here. The next one, we get a little outlier. 2017 peak comes in. It actually crosses right here. That data point is actually 77 days after the cycle peak. And so we have to ask the question, what data are we not hearing in here? What are we not seeing? And let's go over here and talk about the story that OC and I were talking about, because back in the day, Russia was trying to develop a stealth submarine. And there's three ways that you can stealth something. You can either blend your frequency to your environmental frequency, meaning match it so that you just appear to be part of the normal ambient sounds underwater, right? Or you can jam the scanner, whatever sonar, radar, whatever it is, whatever frequency that's coming at, you shoot that same frequency back at it, and it creates a wall, an invisible wall that you are behind, and that's just jamming. So you've got jamming, you've got frequency blend, and then you've got what they tried to do. They tried to go invisible. They wanted to erase their own sound from existence, right? And so they try to do that. That doesn't ever work. Why? Because when we started to scan for that submarine, when we got a bubble of nothing where there was no information at, was actually the information that we were looking for, and that's where they were, right? They created such a frequency erase that they were invisible, and so was sound in their bubble, which means there's something there where there's nothing there, right? So nothing is something in my world, and so I started to look at this chart a little bit differently. Let's take a look at that. Let's bring News Camp. Now, that way OC's on here with me. So if we take a look at this, guys, what if we go back and we re-look at this data now that we have this anomaly, and we go, okay, yes, when this previous peak hits this level, that is the start off of this, right? But this, don't look at it as the high price point. Look at it from the level of, this is just your data point. This is your price data point. Run this over. This is your price data point. Run that over. This is your price data point, not the high, where it met the 200, okay? And so if we look at it as not the previous cycle high, but at what the price level was at when the trend line hit the 200-week moving average, then that becomes your data point. And if we do that one, guys, take a look at this. If this looks like we have a long way to go from the high, but if we run it from the data point, that put us where we actually hit what right here when we were at $109,000. If I click on this, you'll see that is right in line with that peak right there. Let's bring it into focus here and show you. You can't just take the data and go, oh yeah, it's whenever the new high hits, right? You see it right here. It was right in line with the week that we hit this $109,000 level here of price, 109,354, matching up perfectly with the data point of the previous 200 meetup, right? So if you look at it as a price data point and not take it from the highs, that's a pretty interesting outlier of information there on that article. So I just wanted to bring this up and show it to you guys. I don't think that, that I think there's a possibility that this is the case, especially when we throw on other things like, hey, look, every cycle we come in and we do these golden pockets from trend-based fibs, and we've hit that twice now. Can't seem to get above it, right? That one's one of those ones that just happens to be that way also. But at the end of the day, if we look at this data and what they were presenting very isolated, simple perspective on it of, hey, peak to 200 is this, but not the data point of the 200. They completely ignored that cycle that we had here, hitting it back in 2021, actually touched it in January 2022, months after that November 8th peak. So I just wanted to break that down. Thoughts on that, OC? What do you think? What's your perspective on this? Because I love when news articles talk about looking at this data, but when they selectively leave out data, I have to go in and do their job for them. What's your thoughts on this chart, though?
So I think it was an interesting point of view, right? At the very beginning, kind of like to me, and I mentioned this in the previous before the show started. It seemed a little hollow from the beginning, right? But it was also very interesting because it's like, hey guys, we haven't topped out yet. Why? Because of an EMA, right? Where's your analysis? Where is the backup data? Where is the pinpoint, stuff, and so on and so forth? And even then, I mean, something funny that I actually held for right now to mention is that when you start starting analysis, you also need to study coincidences, as you mentioned, right? So if you take a look at the charts, there's an absolute pinpoint between Nicolas Cage movies and car accidents. So do we need to start banning Nicolas Cage for making movies to save lives? I
Oh,
would argue about that,
the,
right?
so it's like in sociology and psychology class that I had to take in the military for military leadership. That was actually one of the topics that we looked at was correlation versus causation, right? And it was interesting to look at the one of ice cream sales without getting ourselves blocked here on YouTube. Unwanted advances on the physical nature of men on women occurs when ice cream sales go up. Therefore, ice cream causes that. Ice cream causes men to act that way in society. Causation, correlation. No, it's the beginning of summer. It starts to warm up, less clothing, more people out and about. There's all of these other factors that will go into that those two data points that match up, right? So yeah, excellent point there, OC. So got to stay smart in this world of crypto, man. I'm just saying. Yeah, what else are we looking at today, OC? On the altcoin side, what are you seeing right now? Because we are seeing a decent pullback on Bitcoin. How are the alts holding up on this right now?
So let's go take a look at something that we've been talking about for a little while, right? And in fact, remember yesterday we were talking about the Eve and Adam out of the Adam and
The
Eve,
even
if
Adam,
you
the
may
even
remember.
Adam.
Yeah, exactly. Even Adam. And I was telling you guys, like we're gonna be waiting for that flip of the ribbon to happen, which played out very nicely. And then we were talking about hitting this area right here. Remember, we had an alert right there. If you don't believe me, you can just go check out here. There we go. We hit it like not too long ago, 5:50 my time AM, right? And I was telling you, you know what, guys? As we were breaking through the zero lining here and reaching this area, if we see that breakout with a big body candle, I think that reversal on this V-shaped recovery is not going to be playing out. Basically, the V-shaped recovery has a higher 80%, 90% chances to be playing out. Basically, it's unreversible, all right, with quotations. Therefore, opening the possibilities to then call this a possible Adam and Eve or Eve and Adam, where we can start planning for breakout, retest, and off we go. So far, this is playing out fantastically. Yes, we have right here a order block, a soft order block, bearish order block. So we could be seeing a little bit of a jagged edge in here, just to let that dynamic red come in here. And maybe let me just readjust this, maybe have something more with in line with what I'm showing you right now. So let me just get rid of this thing here. There we go. And so be careful with near. We're still on the bearish side, but dynamic red is coming in strong. And the pattern here, it is an explosive pattern. All right. I would not be recommending this. This is not financial advice to jump in right now, because this involves creating maybe some sort of a dead cat bounce, or maybe a triple bottom, which could maybe lead to a liquidation of a position. So just be patient here. Wait for your confirmation. When we start seeing your prime score rising up, I think that we're going to be seeing that movement. In the meantime, I am expecting to see the big body candles. So I want to miss the breakout here, and I'm gonna go over to the retest for my entry. That way, the breakout, the strong breakout, it is leading me to understand that I have a safer passage to a bullish position. That is for near. Another one that we were talking about is INA. INA, we're basically on entry points where you have that flip of the ribbon. If you're looking for an entry, this is a high risk entry. Remember that our best case scenario entry is all the way down here, and this could be just a continuation for that flip of the sweep of the lows. All right. So for me, I did enter right here with half of a position right there. Seems like I'm gonna be getting a little bit of that maybe underwater action. So be patient. If you're looking to reallocate another half of a position or wait for a better position, wait at 37 cents or somewhere around 35 cents. I think that you're going to get that entry. So far, I nearly missed that entry, but it's not moving as I was expecting. And this high order block, it is just not playing out. So what am I going to be doing? Since I already have a couple of candles in the green, my strategy should be, and it's telling me to move my stop into entry. But because I have allocated half of a position, I'm going to hold it just to see how this high order blocks start moving, because look at that. We are only 17% bearish and we're 83% bullish. So I rather give it a little bit of a chance for maybe a double bottom here, and then breaking that trend line that we could be forming, that we are forming right there on this zone. So once again, INA on entry point on a very highly dangerous zone. All right. Use a stop loss. And finally, Meta. Let's take a look at Meta on the daily zone. This is what I was expecting. Remember, a breakout pullback down into the high order block. I was expecting a multi-candle pullback right here, but seems like, and we talked about this yesterday, seems like it played out faster. I don't know why this is moving. So played out faster to the downside. Right now, we have our first candle within a high order block in here. We don't have just yet the flip of the ribbon. I think in the 4 hours, we might be seeing a faster action movement. Right here, we do have the flip of the ribbon, but do not be fooled, because fooled by the price action of Meta, because Meta love to do this kind of movement. Look at that, going back down, then sweep of the lows right here, and then you got the first profitable movement right there, right? So just be careful on this one. We might be seeing one or two more candles to the downside, and your opportunity might be presenting itself. So once again, wait for that confirmation. But so far, this is one of the ones that I'm going to be allocating half of a position, and I'm going to be giving this signal in my entry point on the Piper Academy today. So stay tuned with the Piper Academy Discord, because that's where I'm going to be giving this entry.
Awesome. I want to jump over here and talk about the CME Futures data, because I said that we closed a gap on here, and I want to show you guys. So we had, let's go take off that one first. Let's just hide it. There we go. So we had the CME gap here, guys, on from the other day. This is saying, like, look, check it out, man. We got this gap right here. You can see where it was out on the 4 hour. from where we closed out here on Friday. This is going to be your Friday close. This is your Sunday open. It's Sunday night, right? And so this whole channel in here is your CME gap because the market closed there and it opened there, right? If we take a look at that right now, this candle pretty much came up, punched through it, and closed out this gap. This gap is now green. But we have another one running right here from Wednesday to Wednesday afternoon to Wednesday evening, I should say. And this created another gap. If we look at this, at where this gap is at, and you put it on the daily, you'll see it clear as day. We gapped up. The price just jumped all of a sudden out of nowhere on the reporting, and then we never came back to close this out. We tried to, but it's not fully closed right now. We do have a little bit of a gap there. So if we look at this on the 4-hour, guys, I would think that this price action today is going to pull back and close out that gap. That's coming in right now at about 96,300. At that level, then we can take a look and see what else we have going on there. We do have a trend line going on there on the CME, but let's look at the regular Bitcoin chart and just take a look. We're getting a nice doji candle here on the 4-hour right now. Let the indicators load in, and let's see where we are. Coming back down to that level of about 96,000, guys. What would it be? Right back into our pivot bounce range here, where we either look for rejections or bounces out of, right? So that's what we're coming into right now at that $96,000 range would be right in line with the median margin of the dynamic prime pivots. So that's what I'm seeing there. OC, what else are we looking at today? I do have an appointment that I need to get to here fairly shortly, but I think we still got about 10 minutes or so if you want to run anything else on the altcoin side, or I can just do a quick rally down through the all the alts that I'm watching.
Sure, absolutely. I got a couple of them that I can show. So let's go over my alerts that we hit and also that we talked about yesterday. This was an entry. Remember that I told you that it was a dangerous entry, that our best case scenario entry was all the way down here. We are in profits at this point. We could be going for this dead cat bounce again. If you are willing to jump in, I think it's still a dangerous zone to enter. I'd rather just wait for maybe a rejection or a confirmation while we break our oscillator breaks, the ribbon breaks through the zero line in here. Remember what I was expecting right there. Let me just push it here. And this movement, remember, could be a fake out to the upside, especially because look at your money flow. As soon as you are, or as soon as we are on profits, one full candle body and wick in the green, let's move over stop to entry. And let's start planning for our first TP, which is going to be at 126. If not, remember when you move your stop to entry, compensate for whatever fees you're being charged. That way, if it stopped you out, you are stopped out in whatever profit cents, right? Just to compensate for that fee. Let's go and take a look at linking here. You know what? Let's leave Link for Piper because I know he's using right now his hat. But so far, let me just say that it's playing out. It's time to move your stop to entry. Still dangerous right now. Take whatever it's yours and run away because it seems like we are going to be having a flip of the ribbon. Did not play out exactly to our TP number one in here, but still we're going to be running out with a little bit, with a couple of dollars of profit there. And finally, let's take a look at this. Be skipping BNB because I want to take a look at Atom. Adam, man, this was a horrible entry. I was not horrible entry, but I was expecting to get this fake out in here, right? I mean, there we go, that fake out. But look at that. I mean, somebody just called and they, hey, he bought, let's dump it. And look at that, almost covered with my stop loss. And it played out to the movement that I was expecting. Well, first hit of the week right here. But other than that, I'm still looking for a possible entry on Atom. Let's just update this trend line right here and then start playing it out as a channel because right now we can see it very, very clearly right here at the top. Look at that. I didn't even had to change that line. So we're going to be playing out the channel until it breaks. And so far, we're still bearish. We need to break through that dynamic reactor, maybe a fake out, and then breaking through. Other than that, turn it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. So yeah, we had a question from Kelly L. She said, why do CME gaps get filled? It's one part mechanism, one part algorithm, and one part psychology. Okay. So those levels, there's a lot of orders that may not have been picked up there because they put an order right below it. It jumped down, skipped it. And so an order doesn't get picked up. So for one, there's market makers know there's a lot of orders there still. And if they're looking to add liquidity to the market, they need those orders to get picked up, right? So price will move to that direction for one. Two, psychology. A lot of people know that there's a gap and they do get filled. The self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So they will set orders at those levels to add to that mechanism for orders and liquidity sitting there. And then three is the algorithm, because a lot of bots know that traders' psychology and mechanism are going to lead there. So they will add to picking up orders and trying to move it that direction also. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that each of those 3 points are predicting that the other point's going to do the same thing. And so it creates a mechanism called gap up or gap down, where price action will tend to go up and close gaps, either up or down, gap up, gap down. So that is why they typically get filled. But yeah, I'm glad you asked the question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Only dumb question is questions that don't get asked. So that's what I got there. Let's go jump over to Chainlink. I want to get on that real fast and talk about that, and then we'll head over to Randy Hipper's house and close out the show watching her. Let's go talk about the Chainlink. Actually, I'm going to jump over to this chart first and just show you what I'm seeing on the Piper Sniper right now, guys. Looking at the 1 hour right now, the only ones that are showing us signs of strength on the 1 hour, which is our local target range, right? We got to look at the early warning system of the 1 hour and then see what the 4 hour is telling us, right? Right now, XRP and ETH are the only ones with green target locks. Target hold, though, ETH has both. So Ethereum looking decent, but on the 4 hour, it is showing us a sell-off. So let's check out ETH, and then we'll go check out Link. Right now, Link on here is showing us, where are you at, Link? Do I not even have Link on here anymore? Yeah, I do. Link is showing us a double negative, meaning sell indication of target lock and target hold. But we do have a target hold still holding green over here on Chainlink. So let's check out ETH, and then let's check out Chainlink. Ethereum, OC's favorite token. Had a nice big pullback here. Had a nice big pullback here on the daily. I didn't want to do it on this chart. I want to do it on this chart. Had a nice big pullback on the daily, though. ETH did. There we go. And we came down and we started another test of a trend line. This is a 3-point trend line coming in off of the Market Dynamics Pro from Chart Prime. That was also going to be our value area low here. If we bring this over, I'm going to have to do this a little bit different, because our fixed range volume profile is way over there. That is going to be our value area low right there too. That's a big volume node that we got our bounce on, and that gave us our push up. Now, if you take a look, we don't have anything until we come back up to this volume node here. This is just a big gap here of volume, and that's going to be coming in right in line here with the resistance 1. But I want to go back to the 4 hour, show you what I'm seeing here on the local time frame. On the 4 hour, we do have our weekly pivot. That is going to be our weekly level to watch right there. That's coming in at a price level of $2,796. That's also going to be where our dynamic reactor is coming in. So I do think that we have a 382 here. These are trend-based fibs. We have a 382 here. If we come down to this level, hit that 382 and that yellow line there, that's going to be your median market, median margin there of the pivot levels. I do think we'll get a bounce there off of that level. Somewhere in here. If we do, we're very likely heading up to that weekly pivot there, which is going to be in line with our dynamic reactor for resistance. Dynamic reactor, if you don't know, algorithmic moving average, very powerful, and does tend to give us resistance or support. And you can see that right there with that big crazy wick. It punched through everything, rejected perfectly on Chart Prime's dynamic reactor. You can see it over and over and over again. That would be the level I would watch. That's coming in again about $2,800. So that's what I'm seeing on Ethereum right now, though. It does look like we are getting a curvature down on the oscillator ribbon. Power bar did peak out there, and it looks like money flow is about to go into the red. So let's take a look at Chainlink. Chainlink here, guys, is underneath its value area low. It's fixed range volume profile, giving us a lot of resistance there. And we also have lost the median margin. We are right below us is the weekly pivot. That is your weekly pivot low right there on its main support line too. We did get a little wick down below it, grab some liquidity from these other zones, but it is holding. So that level coming in 1763. If we come down to that level, you could watch for the oscillator and see if this is sitting low. If this oscillator is sitting low, meaning we have room to go up, you could set along there. But if this is looking like it's still curving down at this 0 line here, coming across that zero line. If we're rejecting down off of that, when we get down here and we hit a nice retest, very likely could be heading down to the next weekly support, which is going to be 1653. And you can set that short right off of that retest. Set your stop loss tight right on the other side and let it go. So that is what we got there, guys. Appreciate everyone joining us today. We're going to hop out of here and head over to Randy Hipper's house. I got an appointment that I got to get to, but hey, smash that like, guys. Appreciate everyone that's joined us here. If you are subscribed, recheck your subscription, because we've had a situation where people have not been subscribed that were subscribed, and I don't know what's going on with it, but go ahead and check your subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell. Get notified every time we go live. OC, tell these guys what they get. What will happen with Bitcoin's price today if they smash the like button and share it out?
Well, guys, price of Bitcoin might be dumping today, so the only way for you guys to save it out of going all the way back to zero is to smash like that like button.
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero.
Boom shakalaka!
Prevent that and click that like button, guys, and please. And by the way, guys, thank you so much for joining. Quick reminder, again, click that like button.
Awesome, guys. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Friday. Don't forget to tune in to Trade Academy at 4 p.m. Eastern today. We've got Crypto Nightcap at 8 p.m. Eastern today. We've got Markets After Dark at 11 p.m. Eastern. And then tomorrow morning, we're all over again, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have Good Morning Crypto, and we'll be back at 10 o'clock. Not 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. back here 30 minutes after the market open for all your news, your economic data, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit, guys. Until next time, trade safe. And as always, use some risk management. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you all. Later.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall off. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall off. Sound off.
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.